Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is loved by millions of people, and of course, whenever you change loved characters or stories, you're going to face criticism. And the people in Hollywood expect us to shut up and consume product, but that doesn't happen because people are not afraid to voice how upset they are with new content or changes to properties they love. And that is exactly what's happening right now because the new take in Mutant Mayhem is facing massive backlash. I have a bunch of things to show off though, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So, I wanted to start off with this Bounding into Comics article. It says, first trailer for Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem introduces another race-swapped April O'Neil, and this has infuriated people. People on social media are now going at each other over this. Everyone is arguing about if this is okay, if this should have happened, but it says, it seems that a new racial status quo has been put in place on the ooze-covered streets of Manhattan, as for the second time in as many reboots, the upcoming TMNT Mutant Mayhem animated film will feature another race-swapped version of the Turtles' most trusted ally, April O'Neil. Of course, this is a character that many of us love and cherish, and unfortunately, she has been changed yet again. It says, released on March 6th, the first trailer for the new take on the ever butt-kicking heroes opens with a short montage of various New York locales, including the Upper New York Bay skyline, the Manhattan Bridge, and an unspecified street view before cutting to a still shot of a generic city manhole cover. I'm not going to show this trailer because I don't want to risk getting copyrighted and this video getting flagged down, but if you watch it, it clearly is in general similar situation to the recent Netflix He-Man series. That was a CGI reboot that looked like complete garbage in my opinion, and this reminds me a lot of that because it does clearly look like they are trying to target a very young audience with this, with all of these new character designs and just kind of the visuals in general. They're trying these new visuals, probably thinking that, oh, hey, people love these characters and stories, so it won't matter what it looks like. Oh, but it does. In my opinion, the art style isn't the worst thing that I've ever seen. In some shots, it actually looks pretty good. I like quite a bit of it, but the designs aren't great, and especially April's, which I have a lot to talk about. So finally getting to the part that everyone is arguing about, April. Now, it says, as noted above, Mutant Mayhem's race swapping of April is the second time in recent years that the intrepid reporter's character has undergone such revisions. Now, as it says, yes, in the 2018 to 2020 series, she was race swapped for the first time, but I do want to point out that she was a completely different character, which of course isn't going to sit well with people. And this new version of her isn't either. She was very strong woman in this other series. She wasn't a reporter. Of course, she was portrayed as a fighter on par with the Turtles themselves. And people did have some serious issues with that new version of her. But at least in this one, she is the same or similar character-wise. She is a reporter. She does help the Turtles quite a bit as far as we know and given the descriptions of her, but it's her look that everyone is primarily upset with. Now, I have not actually had to talk about April O'Neil on the channel before, but there has always been a very big debate surrounding her race, as this article is going to point out. It says that many defenders of her race swapping in both Rise and Mutant Mayhems have long attempted to claim that she was initially depicted as black in Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird's original comic series. This is nothing more than a misconception that has taken on a life of its own. This has been debated for many, many years, and these creators have come out before and specified their intentions with this character, but these individuals cling to artworks and, of course, misconceptions about her. The debate, of course, started when there were, these black and white versions of the comics all the way back in 1984. People were questioning the way that her hair looked and the way that her skin was shaded. But as far as we have learned, her hair was simply permed, and this was the original intention behind this character. A favorite citation regularly raised by those who believe she was originally intended to be black is in the Volume 1, number 32 Egyptian Adventure, as in the second printing of the issue, she was explicitly depicted as a black woman, but this issue was actually not produced by the creators, but an underground comic artist, and these are considered non-canon, and this mistake was actually corrected a long time ago, and all of these subsequent reprints of the story have consistently portrayed her with white skin, so they are trying to use this example as fact when it clearly is not. And going all the way back to 2009, Pete had, given another solid answer on this when asked by a fan for clarification. He said, "If you ask me, I always saw April O'Neil as white. If you ask Kevin, I suspect he would say, as he has in a number of interviews, that she was of mixed race, much like his former girlfriend and then ex-wife April, but that would be, again, as I had pointed out, she would be Asian." Now, of course, there is still debate, even though there have been many clarifications on this matter, but just looking at April's new design, I want to judge it for a minute, and I've got to be honest, I am not happy with this. I do not think that this design looks good. I am not a fan of this. Of course, there will be people out there who say that we're ists simply for criticizing this character and her new look because she's black. And yeah, people get upset when characters they've known in some cases their whole lives are changed simply to promote diversity or inclusivity, because when a character has a certain look, that is the character, but it's more than that here. It's like they specifically went out of their way to not only change her skin color, but make her design overall bad. And she looks short and frumpy, and her outfit choice isn't good. If they at least kept her original costume, I think that people would be less upset. They had a lot of potential here, but unfortunately, they threw it all out the window. To me, it's just her design in general that is bad. It is not even just her race, even though it is not correct judging the source material. The only thing that she brings from the original character design is the yellow jacket, but it's not even the same yellow jacket, because that one was fitted and this one is big and baggy, and I just am not a fan of this. And you are not a racist if you do not like this, like some people on social media are trying to say. If we head on over there, April O'Neil has been trending since this trailer release. A lot of people are debating over it and her, past and what the character should look like. I've enjoyed many of the past iterations of her, but this one is just not it. People are saying things like, as always, people are pulling the racist card at any criticism of her. She is supposed to be beautiful. They could have given us a cute black April. They made her ugly on purpose. Race plays no role in that. People are saying things like, of course, there's individuals spreading the myth that April is black, even though, of course, she wasn't. Of course, I'm a bit biased because I loved the 1987 animated, and that April design is my favorite of all time, but I also really liked Paige Turco's performance in the 1991 live-action Secret of the Ooze. Again, if they just made this version of her look closer to the original design of this character, or at least put her in an accurate outfit and didn't make her look frumpy, there'd be far less backlash. If you personally like her new design, that's great. I'm glad that someone out there does. I personally don't. There are a lot of problems here, and maybe this show will end up being good, but I have some major problems with it, just creatively, like Seth Rogen. Over the past 2 years, he has put out some real stinkers. So of course he's a big part of this as a producer. He also, of course, co-created Santa Inc., which was also a nightmare. He, of course, said anyone criticizing that show was a white supremacist, so I'm sure he'll pull the same thing with this one. He also faced backlash for the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee show because, of course, he decided to play the man that stole their private tapes and made the show sympathize with the thief. So all of his projects lately haven't gone well, and clearly this one isn't going well so far either. Maybe when it releases, people will change their minds and go, you know what, this is actually pretty decent, character designs aside. But right now, people are online. They are really, really upset about this change, and I don't think that this backlash is going to die down anytime soon. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.